Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Trig Podcast of Joy on this beautiful Wednesday, October 30th, the day before Halloween. We are actually having our Halloween event at our church tonight called the Harvest Festival. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm away over there to help with all the setup, and I'm also going to be giving an encouraging message tonight. So if you're in the LA area, Bellflower, Long Beach, Lakewood, California, Downey area, please come out and check us out, 9603 Belmont Street in Bellflower, California. But I wanted to talk today about my passion for young adults and how I want to coach young people and help them overcome their obstacles so they can become the truest version of themselves. And so we're talking about artists, about nutritionists, online creators, young people who want to be psychologists or counselors, therapists, who love writing, who want to help their families, perhaps back home in other parts of the world, who have a real heart to help the poor, to help the disenfranchised, to worship at their church, to help with the children or in areas of fitness, nutrition, but that also have obstacles in their lives, whether it's parent or daddy issues, as we can call them, or perhaps issues of loneliness, of sadness, of perhaps procrastination. There are many things that I have seen over the years, and I've always recognized how I love to help young people, primarily because I can relate to their story. It was in my 20s when I found the help that I needed to really bring me to that next level. The kind of young adult that I enjoy working with are those stars, superstar young adults who are perhaps experiencing a rough patch in their lives. And this comes out of my story. I felt from day one that I was called and gifted to do great things in this world. But it was in my late teens, early 20s when I began to wonder, where am I going? And so I got involved in relationships that were harmful. I began to compromise my faith, per se, by living a double life. I felt somewhat alone and somewhat afraid because I didn't feel the support, or I didn't have the guidance that I needed. And it wasn't until I found mentors, therapists, and really when I found the church that I found my way back to my true self. And then, of course, my beautiful wife, Rochelle, I met her at church. And now it's been almost 30 years since those early days. 3 beautiful children, married 25 years next year, our silver anniversary. Amazing. And so you can imagine what a connection I feel to young people in their 20s. First of all, or maybe second of all, my wife and I, we have 3 young adults, basically almost in their early 20s or late teens, 16, 18, and 20. But I think it's just something that God has given me. God has called me to help young people and to help them go from being all-stars to become superstars, and to do that well, and to be a voice in their lives who doesn't judge them or condemn them, who will definitely be a truth-telling person, or who will speak the truth, but who does it with love, with kindness, with sympathy, empathy, understanding where they're at. And then, of course, with my training, I am a certified mental health coach through the Orange County Health Department. Of course, I am a musician, an artist. I understand the ups and downs of music or creativity. And then, of course, as a pastor and as a seminarian, and the training that you receive both in school as well as in life, I definitely have a compassionate heart towards young people. But I think at the end of the day, it really just goes down to my own life experience. Having my father, who was my greatest mentor, my mom, my grandmother, and then, as I mentioned, my wife, and then the success of our marriage, imperfect as it is, mostly because of me. But we have, by the grace of God, reached, as I mentioned, 25 years of successful and happy marriage. and we've learned a lot. We've been through counseling. We've learned a ton as a couple, as young parents. So I also have a real love for young parents, especially when they have their first baby, perhaps their second baby, and they experience the joy, the ups and downs of that first child, perhaps issues of unemployment or financial problems, or maybe hitting that first bump along in their marriage, whether it's stress or workaholism or a lack of communication. These are all the things that I enjoy and love to do, to help especially young people in their 20s to overcome these obstacles. And I've been just really praying and asking God to open doors for me to help people. I have free coaching services that I provide. If you're watching this online, I think the link should be at the bottom of this video. It's davidtrig.com/free coaching. Let me actually put that in here so that you can see that even better. I think I have it here. davidtrig.com/free coaching. Let's see here. There it is right there. Just click a few things here and it should be on the screen. There it is. So if you're watching this anywhere, I think only Instagram doesn't have it, but anywhere else there's a footer, but it's just davidtrig.com/free coaching. And my heart really is to help young people go from being all-stars to becoming superstars. I think my real joy and my uniqueness is I really love helping amazing superstar type young adults who are doing great things in the world already, who are on their way to college or have finished college. Maybe they're even getting their master's degree or that kind of thing. They might be single or married, and they're doing great things in this world. They're succeeding, they're helping people, they're doing amazing things, but they have reached some sort of obstacle. They've hit some roadblock, and they have great parents, or they even have a great church. Obviously, they might be people of faith who have a great God, but this young person still doesn't feel comfortable always talking to these authority figures. They might not feel understood, or they might be introverts, extroverts. They might be different personality types. They might be different Enneagram types. They might be more artistic, or maybe they are very extroverted and really love people. They might be very controlling and dealing with issues of authority. They don't trust authority figures, or maybe their parental figures were very hard on them. So now when they go into the workplace, they feel like they have to rebel against rules and authority. They might have dealt with issues of loneliness and sadness and depression, or mental health issues, fear and anxiety and shame. They might be people who deal with addictions, sexual addictions, with alcoholism or drug addiction, weed, and all the things that are common these days. It might be something that is more spiritual. They grew up in the church, but somehow it's no longer working for them, and they feel bad because they have that heritage of faith, and their parents, of course, love God, and they go to church, and they even themselves might still go to church, but something is missing. They're wanting to figure out marriage and relationships and sexuality and faith and God and all these things, but they don't have any voices in the spiritual world that are making sense of these things. And I really feel like that is my unique gifting and calling, and my unique, I guess, just place in the world. And God has given me a real compassion for young people. And my desire is to help them, whether it's meeting one-on-one. I have mentored many young adults just for texting, phone calls. Obviously, a lot of them I meet with one-on-one. And if you're a part of my church, of course, this is just part of what I do at my church. But as far as outside of the church, this is a service that I provide through my website, where we schedule some times to meet, whether it's for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever it is. And as I said, you can go to the link here at the bottom of this website or this video, davidtrig.com/free coaching. And we can set up a time to just talk about your greatness, your great goals, your desire to have a cabin outside of the city and have your coffee in hand and pray all day and talk to God. But the reality is that you're unemployed, you have no money, you're living at home, you have issues with men or with women, and you're just kind of, you're feeling lost, you're feeling confused. You go to church, you have God, and yet somehow there's something missing. And you have great parents, you have a great God, you go to church, all these things, and you might even have a therapist or not, but you need that third space, that third kind of element, someone that can be in the middle, that can understand the different areas of spirituality, of your goals, and also of psychology and mentorship, and who has just a heart of wisdom, a heart of compassion. I feel like God, by his grace and by what people tell me, has given me a heart of compassion to help people. Also, they might be Spanish speakers, young people who are working 2-3 jobs, who may have 1 or 2 children. Maybe their baby daddies are not in the country or not in the area. And these are young women who want to honor God and who want to do things right, and who are trying to find ways to honor God with their minds, their bodies, their goals. They're career oriented. They are Enneagram 8s, as we would call them, or 3. They are very success-driven people, very driven people, but they do have sometimes issues with loneliness or with not feeling valued. And so maybe they get into the wrong relationship, hoping that this man will help me survive, or help me succeed, or support me, or love me. And yet sometimes those things just don't happen. And so my real heart is to help that young lady realize that God is your husband, that God is your father, that there is no greater hope and joy and peace and father than God. And he is the one who will fulfill all your needs like no one else. And if you are a person of faith already, then to help you go deeper into that relationship with God, and to know that it is not just about going to church or about serving or singing in the band or helping with the kids. It's about intimacy. It's about healing. It's about going, as I like to call it, 3 steps from belief to healing to success. You have that belief, or you start with that. And if you don't have that, that's where we start. Then you go to that second place of healing, of understanding your trauma, your past issues, of having that process to help you through that, and then to go to that place of success. And you might be a male. It doesn't have to be obviously just for females. You might be a young man in your 20s, 30s who is working hard, but you've been through issues of alcohol, of depression, of maybe death in the family. Perhaps you are stressed with issues of home and children. You have maybe 1 or 2 small kids under the age of 5. And you're working hard. You have 5, 10 jobs, and you're doing gigs, you're working construction, you're driving for an hour and a half to provide for your family. But at the end of the day, you feel depressed. You feel maybe even suicidal, alone. You drink yourself to sleep. You're in the car and you feel so desperate. You wonder if just flipping the car would be the best thing, or just simply ending it all would be the best thing. And these are the real issues that young people deal with these days. And they don't really always have the support of the church, or they maybe don't feel that they have the support of the church. And their parents, of course, you feel embarrassed to talk to them, especially us Latino men. We don't like to admit weakness. And so these are all the issues that I have dealt with, meaning that I have worked with, and some of them I have dealt with personally. But I know that there's hope. That's why I like to say, though there's pain in the night, gozo comes in the morning. Though there's pain in the night, joy, gozo. I have my gozo cups back there, and I don't have my gozo hat here this morning. But you know what I stand for, Psalm 30, verse 6, that's what it says. It says, though there's pain in the night, joy comes in the morning. And I'm very familiar with that because it's my story, the different difficulties that I've been through, separation, war, immigration issues, anxiety, all these things. And yet joy keeps coming. But you have to know how to get there. If you're laying in bed at night and you get up and you want to go to the bathroom, you have to turn on the lights. You have to, if you're maybe you have a headache and you need to take some Advil, you need to know where that Advil bottle is. You need to know where to get help at night. And so that's why Psalm 23 is also my favorite psalm, because it says, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you are with me. So it's not just simply waiting for the morning to come. You have to have someone with you when you're going through that difficulty, when you're going through that valley, you're going through that shadow or that dark night of the soul. So if you would like to get help, I'd love to schedule something with you. Just go to the link here below, davidtree.com/free coaching. Just go on there, click the link, and you can sign up, and we can set something up, a date, a time, a texting meeting, a one-on-one conversation, phone, whatever it is, and set something up so that we can get you the help that you need to go from being amazing to being an all-star, to finding your level of genius, to going from being a great person, a great young adult, to becoming a person that is succeeding in every area of life, and that's not prideful, that's not trying to make money off of others, who's not cheating or dishonest, but who is really doing things for the right reasons, to serve others, to love people, to honor God, to love their parents, to help their wives and husbands if they're married, to love their children if they have children. But really, they have hit a bump along the road. They've slipped. They have bumped up against something that is just continually there. They keep rebelling, or they keep falling for the wrong kind of guy, or they keep sleeping with the wrong person, or they deal with addictions. And so my heart is to help those young people, especially, as I said, young adults in their 20s and early 30s, to be able to really help them through these bumps along the road so they can reach their level of genius or level of greatness for the glory of God. So leave me a comment below. Let me know how I can help you. If you are someone who's a parent, maybe you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and you have a young adult at home, and it is your child or your grandkid even who needs help, I would love to set up a meeting and talk to them and begin to share our stories and begin to give that young person the guidance that they need to become great at what they do. Thanks so much for listening. I will see you next time.